So, how many people have seen that movie, Inside Job? They won an Academy Award. Your assignment, watch that movie. Okay? It says almost exactly line by line of what my book, Conspiracy of the Rich, talks about. The difference between Inside Job and Conspiracy of the Rich is I go back farther in time. They start with Iceland. The real problem in America started a long time ago. The subprime crisis is only one in a whole series of crises. This bailout is only one in a series of bailouts. It is premeditated. Okay. And I'll just give you a quick hint because I love history. The year was 1913. Long before any of us was born. But two things were created. The Fed both are unconstitutional. And we wonder why we have troubles today. Now, I'm not saying they're unconstitutional today because the 16th Amendment made it constitutional. But we've had three central banks now. The Fed's the last in a long line. Always ending up in the same disaster. And like it or not, we're in this disaster right now. They print money, steal from everybody, and they get rich, they don't go to jail, and we pay the price. So when people say, well, is Obama going to win or Sarah Palin going to win? It doesn't make any difference. When you see Inside Job, the same people that control the show are still there. Nothing has changed. The same guys that ran George Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, same guys. Greenspan, Bernanke. The U.S. Federal Reserve Bank is not U.S., it's not federal, it's no reserves, it's not a bank. It is run by Goldman Sachs, Lehman Brothers, and those guys. Okay. And the way it works is, in between there, we have the U.S. Treasury. Treasury creates a bond. An IOU, debt. And the Chinese, Japanese, and buyers show up for it. But what has been happening in the last few years, or months actually, is these guys have stopped showing up. They're not buying our debt. So to do that, very simple terms, is now called QE2. QE2 means they buy our debt. Does that make sense to you guys there? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but that's what they do. And what that does is create higher oil prices, famine, higher food prices, stock market goes up, and everybody feels a sense of euphoria, but the poor are getting fucked. Revolutions start by hunger. That's what's going on in the Middle East today. Because the Fed, and there's Feds in most countries, Japanese bank, the European Central Bank, Bank of Peru, and all that. And there's this game these bankers are playing, and people blame the Chinese. I think it's just the system. Okay. And so right now, nobody's buying our bonds. So the Fed has to keep buying them. Who pays the tax on that? And we pay it through inflation. So there's two things that happen from the system. Okay. Everything they print, tax, inflation. That's where we are today. We're at the point, the question is, how much longer can this go on? Some people say another 20 years. I think it might be 2 years at most. Then we collapse, and you wish you could buy one of my machine guns. Okay. Do I make any sense, guys, here? Yes. So this started a long time ago. It's been going on since the Roman Empire. Every time the elite come into power, what they do is manipulate the money supply. And money is like blood through your system. Our money supply is toxic. That's why we have so much trouble today. That's why the poor work harder and harder, pay more taxes, and get poorer. That's why we have no financial education in our schools. And that's why there's a rich dad company. I don't need the money. But I need people like you to get educated and move on, because it is through education, not that crap they teach in school, that we get ahead.